You're a new player wanting to get into Lorcana for the first time? You're a veteran player wanting to bring someone new to the game. You want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly on the shelves and make sense of starter decks, gateways, and Illumineer's quests? Welcome back, Inkspilled Glimmers. I'm Nick, and tonight we take you on a journey into the various products for new players in order to help you start questing with the right tools. So pack your sleeve, fill up your inkwell, and take your first step with us on your Inkling adventures. Good evening and welcome to this first episode of Inkling Adventures, the series where we forget the tournaments, competition, and metagame for a moment to help new players get into the hobby for the first time. Lorcana is an approachable, family-friendly TCG, and Ravensburger has been very diligent in making sure new players had access to ways to start playing and enjoying this amazing game. Some would even say they put a bit too much effort into it. After 1 year into the game, players have access to 11 starter decks, a gateway product targeted at new players, and the Illumineer's Quest, a co-op game that is sold in big box store shelves. A lot of Illumineers, new and old, now ask themselves, what's the best way to start playing Lorcana? Will this product allow me to grow into the game? Am I getting my money's worth with this product? Let's look at each of these products and figure it out. The first option that most players consider when starting out in the game is to buy a starter deck. They're prominently displayed in stores, are marketed as a starter product, and promise an interesting value proposition. For around $17 US, you get a playable 60-card deck, one pack of the set the deck came out in, and one pamphlet including the basic rules of the game and an overview of how to play the deck. The deck is composed of 6 cards of rarity rare or super rare, 2 of which are foiled, 20 uncommon cards, and 34 common cards. They try to showcase various mechanics of the 2 chosen colors for the set they were released in, and aim to be a tour of what the game has to offer. I sadly feel that they often try to do too much and end up not having any focus, which shows in games played with the decks where you will often have 2, 3, or 4 various teams the deck is trying to showcase that often don't synergize well with each other. On top of that, they rarely bring value to the player in terms of monetary investment, as well as in terms of cards they can use to build viable decks to bring to their local league. The total card pool has under 10 cards that would be considered meta-viable. Almost all of them are from the set 2 decks, and the vast majority of those end up being common cards. As a result, the cost of buying every card individually at market price at the time of writing is usually a lot lower than the cost of the product. The cheapest deck to build yourself would cost $3.46 with the Ruby Sapphire deck from set 3, and the most expensive one would cost $12.27 with the Amethyst Steel deck from set 2. The vast majority of the starter decks fall under the $10 threshold. Each deck does include a regular pack of cards that could include an enchanted card or some valuable legendaries, but since the vast majority of packs are virtually empty of any value, we did not factor it in our financial evaluation. As far as starter decks go, it's very hard for us to recommend the product as a whole to new players. It's definitely an easy way to pick a deck up and play, but the lacking upgradability, unfocused deck building, and poor value of the cards in them in terms of dollar and playability makes this product too bad. We urge a new player to pass on it if they can. If you absolutely want one, the Amethyst Steel deck from set 2 featuring Merlin and Tiana is definitely the one we would recommend the most, as it includes the basic cards of the Amethyst Bound package, which is both fun and an amazing upgrade path in a variety of inks. That being said, the provided rules basic and the deck's goal to help new players a bit in understanding the game, but you'll likely need some previous card game experience or someone with card game experience to guide you into fully picking it up and play. The Illumineer's Quest might look like a starter product when you see it on the shelf. It's an all-in-one product for 2 players that provides them with the ability to play against one another, as well as to play together against Ursula. What's more, the decks that come in it actually feature powerful legendary cards from the 4th set of the game, Ursula's Return. The game comes bundled with 2 starter decks unique to this box set and can be used to play competitive or cooperative gameplay. 1 adversary deck to play the cooperative mode against Ursula, 4 scenarios that match the difficulty level of the co-op gameplay, basic rules to play Lorcana, an Illumineer's quest, as well as a paper playmat, and a surprise gold pack with a prize after beating the game. We won't tell you what the prize is, but it's a card with a special treatment unique to this box set. It was actually super fun to beat the game and open the pack after the first win and discover our prize. It is actually a very cool way to reward your players for playing your game. 10 out of 10 for the idea, as well as the execution here. The decks themselves are actually decent value and properly built. The Amber Ruby deck features Mulan, Elite Archer, and Piglet, Pooh Pirate Captain, as its face cards, and has a good variety of versatile cards that have some impact and can be used to play better decks down the line. Brings in about $15.57 at the time of writing and is a fun experience. The Amethyst Steel deck, on the other hand, features Yensid, Powerful Sorcerer, and Mickey Mouse, Playful Sorcerer, in what is easily the best and more synergistic starter deck so far. It also has a lot of cards that can be reused to build a more complete Broom deck, and brings the best value so far at $26.25. Illumineer's Quest Deep Trouble is a blast to play in co-op mode with the included decks at lower power level, and provides a really fun deck building challenge to win at higher power level. We heavily recommend it to players with experience in the game looking to shake things up a bit, and having access to up to 3 other players to fully enjoy the experience. We sadly won't be able to recommend it to new players for 2 reasons. Firstly, while the game provides around $42 of value in cards, it has an MSRP of around $60, so players looking at it just to get the cards to play are still better off going to their local card store and buying the singles for it. Secondly, while the game doesn't come with instructions on how to get started, those do not really teach someone new how to play, nor does it hold their end at all through the first game where Ursula is likely to completely obliterate them. In conclusion, it's a great product for players with some experience, but we wouldn't necessarily recommend it as an entry point to the game. Which brings up to the latest release that came out a few weeks ago. Lorcana Gateway is a $25 product that comes in a board game box and promises you and friends to start playing the Lorcana game out of the box, no experience needed. Full disclosure here, given the value of the previous products, I was doubtful about this one, to the point where when we decided to buy it for this video, I talked to one of my son's friend's mom and told her we'd give it to them after filming, because it would be of no value to us. Boy, was I wrong. Upon opening the Gateway box, players are greeted with a package containing a full introduction to the basics of the game, complete with QR codes linking to videos explaining the game and hand-holding players every step of the way. The play surface, which is usually made of paper and starter products, is now a solid cardboard play area with standees for tracking lore, cardboard counter for the damage tracking, and 2 decks of 30 cards with a notice not to shuffle them. 30 cards? Yes. Because this is a new player's experience, the team at Ravensburger decided to start new players with a smaller, simpler deck, containing mostly characters as well as a predefined starting hand, to make sure your first game gives you all the tools you need to learn correctly. As the players learn, they accomplish challenges and unlock extra cards, 4 bundles each to be exact, that teaches them new mechanics of the game and takes them 1 step and 1 video tutorial at a time from absolute beginners up to the point where they're able to play a full game, properly read and understand most cards, and, quite frankly, take the leap into going to meet their local community. The players end up with 2 decks of 65 cards that, while wildly incoherent in terms of synergy, do a very good job of covering all the basics of the game, as well as creating a toolbox of decent cards that player can then build around if they don't decide to simply reset everything and use it as a tool to bring more people into the game. What's even more impressive is that at $25, This is barely more than the price of one starter deck and provides 2 full decks totaling $28.50 in value, and including multiple cards that currently are or have been staples that are playables at higher level and amazing build-arounds, like Madame Mim Fox, Berlin Rabbit, Let It Go, Stitch Rockstar, Aurora Dreaming Guardian, or Super Goof.
So what then? Do we give up hope and never buy anything? Do we spend $300 in a competitive deck that you won't know how to understand? Do you open a million packs and hope you find synergistic cards? If you're new to Lorcana or card games in general, we absolutely recommend that you go out and buy the Gateway product. It is amazing, has great value, and we'll leave you with the tools to find what you like in the game and build around that. Once that's done, or if you already have the basics done and are looking to take that next step, don't worry, we got you covered. This video is the start of the Inkling Adventures playlist, and for the next 2 weeks, we will be releasing one deck per day to provide you with a deck for every single ink pairs in Lorcana. These decks are all made to be able to be bought individually for the retail price of a starter deck, $17 US. But the truth is that if you know anyone that's already playing, they will likely be able to provide you with the majority of those cards for free or somewhat close to it. But the most interesting part is that these decks are synergistic. They can actually win game, and they will explore various sides of the game to show you the archetypes you'll encounter, help you find what you like, and provide you with an upgrade path if you get better cards or decide to invest a little more down the line. So, join us on these Inkling Adventures, a journey where every drop of ink tells a story. So, subscribe to be sure to catch every single one, and comment down below with the ink combination you want to see the most. I'll see you tomorrow, but until then, keep on questing.